Why is connecting us? I will chant Jaya
Yes.
Jai Shri Prabhupada ki Jai. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
But we just connected us, so we can start.
Yes. So, dear devotees, we thank you all for being here today, as usual. Today we have His Grace KAVIKARNAPURA Prabhu. His guru gave him such a
I hope it's not my neck.
And he's been trying to live up to the name. So today he will be speaking from the SRIMAD BHAGAVATAM. So he does not need any introduction. If you do not know KAVIKARNAPURA Prabhu, maybe you just descended from a different planet. So Prabhuji, if you're ready, we'll put the verse on the screen and then you take it over from here.
I'm ready, Prabhu.
Okay, Hare Krishna.
My network is okay.
Yes, it's very stable.
Okay.
Yeah.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam namaskrityam nara chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jaya mudirayet nashta prayesha bhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavati uttama shloke bhakti bhavati naishtiki. Oma jnana timirandasya jnananjana shalakaya chakshurumilitanjena tasmai shri gurave namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapetan Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yukta Padakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavam Scha Shri Rupa Sagrajata Sagana Ragunatam Vidam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padasagana Lalita Shri Vishaka Vitam Scha. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Kavichandra Swaminiti Namine. Namaste Prabhupadartari Nama Pracharini Granta Vitarana Vitibeshishagaine Sada. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashtiti Chatarini. Namo Mahavadaya Krishna Pramapadayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Name Gurati. Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagapate Gopisha Gopika Kantana Kantana Mostute Tapta Kanchana Gorangi Radhi Vrindavanishwari Vishavanus Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Panchaka Patarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Vyaivacha Patitana Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhaktavrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Srimad Bhagavatam ki Jai. So you are welcome to today's discourse on Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 2, Chapter 1, Verse 23. That is titled, The First Step in God Realization. Very, very nice title. So we are taking our text from 23. Shri Shuka Vacha Jita Sango Jita Swaso Jita Sango Jitendriyaha Stule Bhagavato Rupe Manasandaraye Diyaha Shri Shuka Vacha Jitasano jitas shwaso, jitansango jitendriyaha, stule bhagavato rupe, mana sandara yediya, Shri Shuka uvacha, jitasano jitaswaso, jitasango jitendriyaha, stule bhagavato rupe, mana sandaraye diyaha. Word translation. Shri Shuka uvacha. Shukadev Goswami said, Jita asana, control sitting posture. Jita swasaha, control breathing process. Jita sangaha, control association. Jita indriyaha, control senses. Stule, in the gross matter. Bhagavata, unto the personality of Godhead. Rupe, in the future of. Manaha, the mind. Sandara, must apply. Diya, by intelligence. Translation and purport by Abhay Charanaravinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada translation. Shukadev Goswami answered, one should control the sitting posture, regulate the breathing process by yogic pranayama, and thus control the mind and senses, and with intelligence apply the mind to the gross potencies of the Lord called the Virat Rupa. I repeat, Shukadev Goswami answered, one should control the sitting posture, regulate breathing process by the yogic pranayama, and thus control the mind and senses with intelligence, apply the mind to the gross potency of the Lord, called the Virat Rupa. Purport. So Srila Prabhupada explains, the materially absorbed mind of the conditioned soul does not allow him to transcend the limit of the bodily conception of self. And thus, the yoga system for meditation, controlling the sitting posture, breathing process, and fixing the mind upon the Supreme is prescribed in order to mold the character of the gross materialists. Unless such materialists are able to cleanse the materially absorbed mind, it is impossible for them to concentrate upon the thought of transcendence. And to do so, one may fix one's mind on the gross material or external feature of the Lord. The different parts of the gigantic form of the Lord are described in the following verses. The materialistic men are very anxious to have some mystic powers as a result of such a controlling process. But the real purpose of yogi regulation is to eradicate the accumulated dirty things like lust, anger, avarice, and all such material contaminations. If the mystic yoga is diverted by the accompanying feat of mystic control, then his mission of yogi success is a failure. Because the ultimate aim in God realization is therefore recommended to fix his gross materialistic mind by a different conception and thus realize the potency of the Lord. As soon as the potency are understood to be instrumental manifestation of the transcendence, one automatically advances to this next step, and gradually the stage of full realization becomes possible for him. Hare Krishna. So this is a very interesting, continue the discussion. And here, Shukadev Goswami is replying to Maharaj Parikshit's question. In text 20, Shukadev Goswami mentioned about the cleansing mind, that the process of cleansing the mind, how is important. We can see in the beginning of this chapter, he started talking about the materialistic life, how people are very attached to this materialistic life. And that is why this is called the first step of God realization. He started this chapter by describing the materialistic life and how people who are attached to materialistic life are never attached to the supreme transcendence. So So in text 20, Shukadev mentioned about cleansing the mind. And he was talk about how to, that is the best option in focusing on the Lord. Then in text 21, he continued by mentioning about the attitude, which His Grace Chaitanya Prabhu elaborates extensively in his last lecture about our attitude, which is very interesting. We talk about our attitude towards everything, which is very important. The way it discuss that word attitude, it make us, went very deep into that word itself. Then in text 22, so Parishit Maharaj now inquire how to apply this mind, because Shukadev Goswami is talking about cleansing the mind. So he's asking how to apply the mind or fix the mind on the universal form of the Lord, which is the material external form of the Lord. So here, today, the test we are treating, so Shukadev Goswami answer, one should control the sitting posture, regulate the breathing process by the yogi pranayama, and this control the mind and senses, and with intelligence apply the mind to the gross potency of the Lord. So Shukadev Goswami started explaining the process of fixing the mind on the external feature of the Lord, which is very, very wonderful. So in the purport, Prabhupada started the purport by talking about the material absorbed mind of conditions so does not allow him to transcend the limit of the bodily conception of the self. So the whole problem is the mind and the cleansing process of the mind. So Parishit Maharaj, as we have read, had his history in Canto 1 of SRIMAD BHAGAVATAM, how he was born, right from his birth. We know he's a great transcendental person. He has seen the Lord, he was always searching for the Lord throughout his life. So he already see the form of the Lord. He knows who the Lord is. But this is the beauty and the compassionate nature of pure devotees of the Lord. They are very compassionate. So he's asking this question, not for himself, because he's already fixed on the form, the beautiful form of the Lord, Radha Shama Shundra. Yeah, he knows that. And he's fixed on that. But now he's asking this question for the benefit of the materialistic people that Shukadev Goswami started this chapter with. And see, he has 7 days to leave this world. And he wants to become absorbed in the meditation of the Lord. But the first thing he's caring about is what his spiritual master started the discussion with. You talk so much about this materialistic person. So how can these people fix their mind on the Lord? And he started this Virat-rupa, which is very, very important. The same thing also we saw in Bhagavad Gita. Krishna, describe about devotional service, about mystic dhyana yoga meditation, everything. And he described about his Virat-rupa. And Arjuna also desired to see, because it's different chapter before 11. Krishna has mentioned how he can perceive him in the material world. He is the son of the mountain arm, the Himalayas, and all these things Krishna was telling Arjuna, and Arjuna wanted to see. So it is mentioned in the purport in Bhagavad Gita that Arjuna has to step down. Krishna gave him divine height. So the divine height Arjuna was given is to step down so that he can see this external picture of the Lord. Because Arjuna is already seeing the beautiful form of Krishna, Shama Shun. So he doesn't need the Virat-rupa. But for him to see the Virat-rupa, he has to step down to see this the external feature of the Lord. So here we are hearing Prabhupada is talking about the materially absorbed mind of conditioned soul, not allow him to transcend the limit of the bodily conception of the self. So the problem is the mind, and that is why in chapter 6 of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna discussed extensively about the mind. And after talking about the mystic yoga of freeing the mind, it's the same thing that Shukadev Goswami is describing here. You have to sit down in a particular posture, do pranayama, breathing exercise, and then you control your mind, then control your senses, focus your mind. These are very, very important in controlling the mind. So the question now is that Parikshit Maharaj has 7 days before leaving this world. What is the need for Shukadev Goswami to start telling him about the external feature of the Lord? What is the need? And we see the whole volume, the whole essence of the Bhagavatam is in Canto 10, describing a pastime of Krishna. To focus on Krishna. But he has to tell him about the material universe. He came to explain it more in Canto 5, how the universe configuration is, the cosmic universe, and the different planets and everything. He explained everything in details. Why? The same thing also Krishna did in Bhagavad Gita. The essence of the Bhagavad Gita is Sarva Dharma Parijajama Mekam Sharanavraj. Surrender to me. But he has to explain about mystic yoga in chapter 6, and you have to sit down like this. You have to fold your leg. You have to sit. You must not be too high. It must not be too low, and you must not eat too much. You must not eat too little. You must not sleep too much. You must not sleep too little. He has to discuss everything. Just at the end, he can tell him, surrender unto me. Why? So Prabhupada mentioned in the purport of chapter 6, chapter 6, text 47, towards in the middle of the purport somewhere. He says, factually, Bhakti Yoga is the ultimate goal. But to analyze Bhakti Yoga minutely, one has to understand these other yogas. And that is why, to understand Bhakti Yoga minutely, one has to understand all these other yogas. Just like we go to school, when you go to university, you have applied to a particular program in that school, maybe to become an engineer or to become doctor. But when you are studying that program, there's other supplementary courses you have to do. Before, in the final year, you are prepared to focus you on that your particular program. Why? Because somehow or the other, all these other courses, they are related. The same thing also. Everything in the whole universe is connected to the Lord. Just because we are not pure now, we are contaminated, so we are not seeing the connection. And that is why Krishna himself, or Shukadev Goswami, is taking this time to explain how the material universe is connected to the Lord. For a materialistic person who cannot perceive the Lord, who is not on the spiritual platform to see the Lord, to perceive the Lord in his creation, they have to take this as, because generally the materialist people, they appreciate nature. There's many of them, we call it pantheists. The pantheists, who are the practice of pantheism, they appreciate nature, so they can connect with nature. They can connect with you. So the only way to encourage them is to be able to see God in nature. So the process of yoga is freeing the mind, because as long as the mind is contaminated, like Prabhupada mentioned in the purport, we cannot be able to connect with the Lord. And in different ages, there are different processes for this. It is mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam, it said, Kirte ya yajato Vishnu, Titrayam yajato Mikai, Dopare Parichayayam, Kalotad Arikitanam. In Satya Yoga, the process of freeing the mind and purifying the mind to completely concentrate on the Lord is meditation. People sit down for thousands of years to meditate. In that way, their mind becomes focused and completely purified. But in Tetra Yoga, the process is different. And the process in Tetra Yoga is what? Is to engage in what? In huge sacrifice. That's how to purify the mind in Tetra Yoga. But in Dwapara Yoga is opulent deity worship. But it is mentioned that Kalo Tad Hari Kirtana. In age of Kali, the only way to purify the mind, to cleanse the mind, is what? Is through chanting of the holy name of the Lord. Because the whole sense why Shukadev Goswami is narrating this the external feature of the Lord, Virat Rupa, to Parishil Maharaj is to purify the mind of a materialistic person. But the process has been made easy for us here by the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Cheto Darpana Marjanam. Cheto Darpana Marjanam. Baba Mahadavagni Nirvapanam. Cheto Darpana Marjanam. Param Vijayate Shri Krishna Sankirtan. All glory to Shri Krishna Sankirtan. For what? Cheto Darpana Marjanam. Because this chanting of the holy name of the Lord is to cleanse the mirror of our mind and extinguish the fire of conditional life, of repeated birth and death. So this process of purifying the mind that Sukadeva Goswami is narrating to Arjuna, that we have to meditate on different parts of the Lord in this way, seeing the Lord as a mountain and the beast. And for a devotee of the Lord, for a bhakta, just by chanting the holy name of the Lord, you achieve the same result. Chanting the holy name of the Lord, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Cheto Darpana Marjana Baba Mahadavagni Nirvarpanam. That is by chanting the holy name of the Lord. One can purify the lust, anger, like Papa mentioned in the purport. He says, I will just quickly go through the place where Papa mentioned about that. He said, the mind, he said, but the real purpose of yogi recreation is to eradicate the accumulated dirty things like lust, anger, avarice, and all such material contamination. This is the essence. To remove lust, anger, greed, illusion, madness, and envy. So by chanting the holy name of the Lord, we can purify our heart of all these anarthas. Then it will be easy for us to be able to perceive the Lord in his creation naturally for a devotee. Because once you become Krishna conscious, you can connect everything with Krishna. Like Prabhupada will give a very good example. Even Krishna, Prabhupada can give a drunkard. He can tell a drunkard how to see Krishna in beer. Just by drinking beer, you can imagine what is making you to be addicted to the beer. You know, the thing is so addictive that you cannot give a drunkard, if he doesn't take a beer a day, he will not be at peace. Why? What is that taste? That energy in that beer that is making you to become addicted. Prabhupada says is Krishna. Just like Krishna say, Raso am so kante ya. I am the taste of water. We are hot, we thirsty. If you like, if you are thirsty, if you like, go and take any other liquid. If you have not taken water, that thirst will not quench. So similarly, also that energy in water that quenches these days is Krishna. So that's how devotee, by connection with Krishna, they can perceive Krishna directly in everything. And that is why it was easy for Prabhupada to see Krishna in everything. But this purifying process is very, very important for us as a devotee. We cannot jump. Prabhupada gave us in a Canto 5 in the Canto 5 of Srimad Bhagavatam. Prabhupada, when he was describing about the configuration of the universe, he was talking about the movement of the sun. Prabhupada was nicely explaining that part of the verse, how a devotee in the morning, when you see the sun, immediately you remember Krishna. What do? You recite the Brahma Samhita prayer. Yashakshu sabita sakala grahanam raja samasta suramurti asheshate jayasya gaya bhamiti sabrita kala chakro govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami. Or if you don't recite that, you recite Om Bhuva Swaha Tasadritri Varayam Bhago Devasari Mayidio Yona. You pay obeisances. Why? Because without the sun, we cannot see. So the sun is the eyes of God. This earth is naturally dark. This material world is naturally dark. If there's no sun, there's no light anywhere. And that is why it's called, we are born into this darkness of ignorance. This world is a dark world. Without sun, everywhere will be dark. Without the moon in the night, everywhere will be dark. Without no electricity, everywhere will be dark. So this earth is naturally a dark place. And that's why when we see the sun immediately, we offer our respect. because it represents Krishna, the eyes of God. Unless Krishna sees, we cannot see. Because the sun, rising, then we can all see everywhere is clear. So this purifying our mind is very, very important. Controlling the mind and the senses is very, very important in any of the yoga system, especially also in Bhakti Yoga. And the process that be easily given to us is the chanting of the holy name. And this holy name of Krishna is so wonderful. Nama Chintamani Krishnas. Nama Chintamani Krishna. Chaitanya Rasa Vigraha. This name of Krishna, the supreme personality of God, is touched to fulfill all our spiritual desire. This name is Chintamani. It can fulfill all material desires. It can purify us and fulfill all material desire, all our spiritual desire. Chintamani Krishna. This name is not different from Krishna. Nama Chintamani Krishna, Chaitanya Rasa Vigraha. He gives us the transcendental mellow we are all looking for. Ananda Buddhi Vardhanam. Pratipat, Ananda Buddhi Vardhanam. It is described. When you say Ananda Buddhi Vardhanam, the ocean of bliss is ever increasing. The ocean of bliss you derive by chanting the holy name of the Lord is ever increasing. The more you chant, the more the bliss is continuing to increase. Ananda Buddhi Vardhanam. So this Chaitanya Rasa Vigraha, he said, Puna, this name of Krishna is complete. Puna Sudo, Krishna's name is pure. Puna Sudo, Mukto, is liberated. He's not part of this world. It's completely transcendental. It's Krishna's name. Binatwam Naminamino. Abinatwat. This Krishna name is not different from Krishna. So that is why he has the potency of purifying anyone that come across these names of Krishna. It is mentioned in Garuda Purana, if you chant one Krishna, Krishna is enough to purify even the sin you have not conceived in your head. I was reading one story, very nice, on one in a page called Bhagavat Kata. So he was talking about how somebody on the deathbed, just by desiring to chant the name of Krishna, become delivered. Just by desiring. This is a very shrewd businessman, very crooked businessman. He has spent all his life performing all kinds of sinful activities, never desired to worship God. So towards the end of his life, he saw that he is going to die very soon. So he called his servant. He said, please, can you get me japa? I used to see these Hare Krishna, Hare Rama people, they carry japa and chant. Can you get me a japa bead? His servant was surprised. This man who is very simple and very wicked man, why is he desiring for japa? So he said, please, can you get me? He said, I want to give it a try. I've been hearing it. I never give it attention. I want to give it a try. Let me see. There is no harm in trying. I want to chant the Krishna's name. They have been telling me all my life to do this. Let me give it a try. So the servant went to the market to get him a japa. And before he came back, this man has died. And immediately he died, Yamaraj and Vishnu Dutta, they came. It's just like similar to Ajamila's story. Yamaraj and the Vishnu Dutta, they came. And they want, the Yamaduttas, they are very amazed to see Vishnu Duttas. Say, why? This guy is very sinful. Why do you come here? You want to pick him? He said, you don't know. This guy has a desire to chant the holy name of Krishna. And just because he desires to chant the name of Krishna, you cannot touch him again. Just imagine somebody who just desired to chant the name of Krishna became purified. Just by desiring. And we are saying just by chanting one Krishna's name, Krishna, it's enough to purify even the sin we have not conceived our mind. This is the greatness of chanting Krishna's name. This is the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. This is the mercy of Srila Prabhupada. This is the precious jewel we have gotten. To chant this name of Krishna and become happy. There was a very good example of how this name of Krishna gives Krishna Prem in Chaitanya Bhagavat. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to one washerman. So he went to the washerman. So seeing Chaitanya Mahaprabhu dressing like a Sayansi. the Churchama told Chitema, I don't have any arms to give you. You know, when you see a sadhu dressing, you know, the normal thing is they come for begging. So he said, I don't have any arms to give you. And the Chitema Prabhu said, I'm not here to beg. I just want you to chant the name of Krishna. Haribo, Hare Krishna, just chant. He said, no, I don't have any arms to give you. If it's just what you are saying, I don't have anything to give you. Please. So Chitema Prabhu pleaded. He said, please, I will beat this your cloth for you. I will wash this your cloth for you. Please just chant the name of Krishna. So when he had that, he tried. He gave it a try. He chanted the name. Haribo, Hare Krishna. And this man started dancing in ecstasy. He forgot he lost all the sense of his surrender. He started dancing. Haribo, Haribo, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Start chanting. Because he got the only name from Chaitanya Prabhu. So when the news got to the wife that his man is behaving like a madman, he came. And looking at this, he went and called all the villagers, please come and help me hold my husband. I don't know what's wrong with this man. He started chanting and he's rolling on the ground and dancing this. Everybody came. They were in the first place. First of all, they were staying away from him. So suddenly one bold man went close to him and grabbed him. Immediately he grabbed him. He started chanting Hare Krishna. He started falling on the ground. Hare Krishna, Hare Ram. He started chanting the name of Krishna. Haribo, Haribo. And like this mercy of Chaitanya Prabhu became contagious. And all of them were contacting this Krishna praying just by touching this man. And Chaitanya Prabhu was standing and was watching. And when he saw this, he gently left the environment. He was very happy. This is where the mercy we have gotten from Param, the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, to chant this name of Krishna and become happy and relish the Krishna praying just by having faith. All the anarthas in our heart that have been accumulated for many, many births. Just by chanting this Krishna's name, everything will be nullified, everything will be purified. So we have to take this chanting of Krishna's name very seriously. Every morning is an opportunity for us to improve our chanting. Every morning is an opportunity for us to concentrate and connect more with Krishna. Every morning is an opportunity for us to purify ourselves more and more by chanting the holy name of the Lord. Because why? This chanting of the holy name, Prabhupada mentioned that the chanting of the holy name of Krishna is the only process that will give us 99% advancement of spiritual life. This chanting of the holy name of Krishna means that every other thing is secondary. The chanting of the holy name of Krishna. So if this chanting of the holy name of Krishna is everything to us, we have to give the utmost importance to this chanting of the holy name of the Lord. And the more we are chanting, the more those anarthas that are very strong in us will be coming up. We have to be very careful. We have to watch out for this. For me, my own disease may be lost, that is more. We all have the 6 diseases in our heart. Mine may be more of lust. Your own may be more of anger. Another person's own may be more of illusion, madness. Another one may be more of envy. The more we chant, the more we see all these dirty things will come up. Just like a very nice example is given again and again. Like when you are sweeping a house, very dirty house that have been unkept for many years, there will be so much dust. Just imagine cleaning such a house. What will happen? There will be so much suffocating dust coming from everywhere. And if you are not careful, you may want to run out of the room. And this is practically happens to us sometimes. When we see our own anarthas coming up, we become scared. Well, so I can do this kind of thing. Oh my God, Krishna, please save me. So that is the chanting of the holy name of Krishna is very potent. That every sadhaka should strategically plan around this chanting of the holy name of the Lord. And every day we should see it as opportunity for us to connect more and more to this arena. And we should chant and try to concentrate on what we are chanting. We should chant and meditate on the chanting. We should hear the word. We should not try to think of any pastimes. That is Srila Prabhupada's instruction to us. We should chant so that we can hear what we are chanting. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. We should chant and hear what we are chanting. We should listen attentively. Try to hear this Maha Mantra. Because the more we chant, the more we can overcome all our anarthas, all those dirty things that Prabhupada mentioned in the purport will be purified. We can see for a very good example is Haridas Thakur, the Namachaya. Actually, Haridas Thakur has took a vow to chant 300,000 holy name every day. And because he was taking this very seriously, naturally you will have so many people who are envious of the sadhus. So that particular Ramachandra he became envious of Haridas Thakur. And what did he do? He sent a prostitute to him. They see that Haridas, he went to the prostitute house and selected the best and said, see that man, bring him down for me. If you do that, I'm going to give you more money. And the prostitute was saying, don't worry, that is my work. I will seduce him. I'm going, don't worry yourself. Just go. Is he not a man? Don't worry, he will come down. And this prostitute went to Haridas. And when he came to where Haridas was chanting, Haridas did not become hungry. He did not say, oh, looking at the way she dressed, naturally, if we were to be me or you, we'll become angry. And say, what is this Maya is doing here? Hey, Maya, get out of this place. But Haridas was not angry. He saw she dressed in a way to seduce him because she was going on a mission. So she dressed, you can imagine, we can all imagine our head how she will dress. So we don't need to talk about it. We know how the prostitute dressed to seduce the opposite sex. So we should not imagine too much about that. We understand what is going on. So she dressed in a way to seduce him. So when she came there, Haridas was not hungry. Even to make it more amazing, Haridas even told him that, please sit down. Let me finish my rounds. Then I will come and satisfy your desire. Just imagine. Because now I've not been able to finish my round. When I finish my rounds, I will come and I will satisfy whatever is your desire. And she was sitting very patiently waiting. Said, yes, I've gotten him. He has seen that he will satisfy my desire. And meanwhile, Haridas Thakur sat down there and he was chanting very attentively, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. And he was chanting very attentively. And as he was chanting, the prostitute also was hearing. So he chanted from night till daybreak. When the prostitute said, it's already daybreak. Oh my God, I have to leave here now. She left. Coming back the second day to come and complete her mission. Haridas also was still there, trying to chant his round. He was always chanting. It is wonderful for devotee to take a vow. When we want to make speedy advancement in spiritual life, we should take vows. Vows are very, very important. If you want to make speedy, if you want to go at the normal pace, it's okay. Follow the normal routine. Okay, 16 rounds. Okay, it's all right. But any devotee who want to make speedy advancement should take vows. Let's say you know that you have a time to chant 32 rounds. Take that vow. Krishna, during all the Kartik period, during Kartik, I want to chant 32 rounds. When you take that vow, you are telling Krishna, I want to make advancement. When you just go with the flow, everybody is sitting on Ekadasi. So, if you go to India on Ekadasi, it's very tempting because on Ekadasi, that is when they make the most tempting preparation. That if you are coming from Africa, that we are used to fasting on Ekadasi, when you go there, you say, we're just suffering ourselves. Let me enjoy here. You start enjoying. You forget that all those things you are doing is for your own spiritual advancement. So what I'm saying in essence is that when we make a vow that, see, Krishna, I want to chant 64 rounds on a Ekadasi day. You are consciously telling yourself you want to make spiritual advancement. You are telling Krishna, I want to be more closer to you. So because Haridas Thakur has taken a vow that I want to chant 300,000 only name every day. He was struggling to finish it because it's not easy to chant 300,000 only name. 192 rounds according to devotee calculation. It's not easy. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur took such vow also when he wanted to start his mission. Sorry, he took such vow that for 10 years I'm going to chant 300,000 only name every day, and he did that. He took a vow. So as a devotee, we should take such vow to consciously take vow. Because when you are going with the flow, it's okay, you will make advancement. It's all right. You'll be eventually liberated. But when you take conscious vow to increase your meditation on Krishna, chanting more round, reading more hours, reading Krishna book, the devotional literature for more hours, you are telling Krishna, I want to be more closer to you. I want to increase my devotion to you. And Krishna will reciprocate. So Krishna say, I reciprocate. When I see somebody who is sincerely trying to serve me, I reciprocate to such person. So Haridas Thakur was struggling to finish his 300,000 only name. Meanwhile, this prostitute was there. Haridas Thakur was chanting, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And after hearing for the period of time he was with Haridas Thakur, she started confessing. Started confessing and crying and begging for Haridas Thakur's mercy, forgiveness. Because why? By hearing the only name of Krishna, she has become purified. She has become purified. That is the potency of hearing Krishna's name. Because Krishna's name is not different from Krishna, especially when you hear it from a pure devotee of Krishna. So all our planning, all our arrangement should gear towards making conscious effort to improve our chanting. Because it is said that this chanting is proper mentioned that by the chanting of the holy name constitute 99% of our spiritual advancement. So any intelligent devotee will understand that I should make all my arrangement in a way that I can finish my run in a way that I will be happy. Means that we have to sleep early as much as possible so that we can wake up very early and chant attentively. Attentive chanting is very, very important in purifying the heart. If we don't chant attentively, we can chant for many, many years and will not make tangible advancement. We have seen many people. Instead of them calling Krishna name, they will be calling something else. It means that you are not attentive in your chanting. I remember one time when I was in India. So I was chanting. I was trying to concentrate. But when you are chanting and you are chanting, trying to concentrate, sometimes your mind will go away. So in between my mind, I think my mind was going away. Because when your mind goes away, you will not be able to keep to the track of the full Maha mantra. There is something that will be missing there. You will not know. So one devotee was he was sitting beside me. He was watching me. He said, Prabhu, you are not pronouncing Krishna here, or you are not pronouncing Rama. I felt embarrassed. I said, oh, I'm sorry. It means that they have caught me that my mind is not enough fully on Krishna, on chanting. He caught me. So I have to be more conscious. Now I started becoming Hare Krishna, Hare. I started thinking, I'm not allowing my mind to go away again. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram. So that it will not catch me again. That is the importance of devotee association. That is the importance of devotee association. Chanting in the association of devotee. If you are not chanting in the association of devotee, I will not get such feedback. I remember one night also we were doing parikrama when I was in India, And I woke up very early in the night to chant. And as I was chanting, one devotee said, Prabhu, you are disturbing us. We are sleeping. Why are you chanting so loudly? Immediately he told me like that. I started chanting softly. And so in the morning when my Guru Maharaj woke up, he was preaching. He was the one preaching that day. He said one devotee was chanting in the night, and I was encouraged. I was thinking of standing up to go and start my own chanting also. But somebody told him to stop chanting, and he stopped. Where I was sitting, I was thinking, oh my God, why did I stop? So he was encouraging me. So now, recently when I went to Kenya, I was standing in the temple room there. And one Mataji, she was sitting on the Mataji side. I don't know why she was concentrating on my own chanting. So he told one devotee, he said, go and tell that Prabhu to chant softly. So that devotee came to me. He said, that Mataji said you should chant softly. Then I increased my voice. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. I increased it. I increased it. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. He said, I started concentrating more on his own. Because why? When we chant and we try to concentrate on ourselves, the other person chanting will not disturb us. But when we don't concentrate on our own chanting, the other person chanting will be disturbing us. That is my own experience. If I'm chanting now and I'm trying to concentrate on my own, I will not be hearing your own chanting because I'm trying to concentrate on my own. So we'll be dragging to concentrate on each other's chanting, on the individual chanting. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. So as I'm concentrating, I'm not hearing what you are chanting, and it will not be disturbing me. But as long as my mind wants to play here and there, if the other person is shouting loudly, it will be disturbing my mind going here and there, and he wants to justify. Say, why are you shouting loudly? You are disturbing my mind that is going here and there. So like that. So this chanting of the holy name is the only means for this age to purify our mind from all these our narratives, for us to be able to perceive the Lord in every of our activities, in our environment, to see until one day we will start seeing the Lord in our hearts. And not only that, when we go inside the temple room, we'll be able to see that this is Krishna. And we'll be able to keep to all those principles that is mentioned in Nectar of Devotion. Sometimes we read all this here and we don't take them very serious because we are not seeing the Lord in front of us. Let me give a very good example. It is mentioned in the Nectar of Devotion that when you're in front of the deity, you should not pass air. But many of us will go inside in front of the deity and we pass air because we think that nobody is seeing us. Because you don't know that it's Krishna that is in front of you. If you know that Krishna is the Krishna that is in front of you, you will run out of the temple room to go and pass air because you know that Krishna, I don't want to. Just for example, now you are in front of the president of America or Ghana or Nigeria. Will you pass air in that kind of association? You'll be very careful with your hair. You hold it inside your stomach. But when you don't see Krishna, you secretly pass the air and you think that nobody is seeing you and you start pretending as if also everything is okay, so that people will not know that you are the one. So in the Nectar of Devotion, it is mentioned like that. So when we become purified, all this naturally we be able to, follow them without, any struggles. All those things that is mentioned in Nectar of Devotion, we'll be able to follow them without no struggles. So this is the power and the potency of chanting the holy name of the Lord. There was one discussion between Haridas Thakur and what is the name of that Brahmana who challenged Haridas Thakur? I've forgotten his name now. It's a very popular story. So Haridas Thakur said, but just, it was glorifying the Namabhas. Just by chanting the name of Krishna in Namabhas, one can attain, perfection of life. And this Brahmana, he was criticizing Haridas Thakur. He said, "Who are you? Do you know what it means to come to the level of Brahmana? And you are speaking like this?" So Haridas Thakur, there was a bet. Sometimes devotees they have strong faith in Krishna. He said, if you chant the holy name of Krishna and Namabhas and you don't attain liberation, let my nose cut off. And what happened? Few days, their Brahmana nose cut off because by chanting Namabhas, you can attain liberation. It is mentioned normal bars is considered to be like the ray of sun in the morning, the early morning ray of sun. When that ray of sun comes out, thieves, robbers, criminals, they start hiding because that time everywhere becoming clear. Similarly also, when the ray of normal bars appear in our heart, all the loss, anger, greed, illusion, madness, envy, all of them will start running away because there's nowhere for them to go. They will start running away, pim, pim, pim. It's only when we have not developed strong attachment to chanting of the holy name that we don't understand this. Sometimes, when we chant the holy name of Krishna, we see that our anartha seems to become more strong, and we are forced to go and commit those things that we know that is against, is sinful. Because why? It looks like that because at that particular point, you are struggling with the anarthas. So if you are able to pray to the Lord, you pray for the mercy of the Lord, so that you can be able to focus more on the names of the Lord, then those anarthas will run away, just like the early morning sun ray. They will run away. Because why? The attempt is for them to take you away from the Lord. So this chanting of the holy name of the Lord is very, very important. And that is the only way and only process for this age of Kali. And we can only attend that platform by the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his associate, Srila Prabhupada. So I will try to stop here. I don't know, maybe there's any comment, contributions, or correction. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, thank you so much. His Grace KAVIKARNAPURA Prabhu. Lots of nectarian juice from the class you gave today. And I have lots of questions, which time will not permit us. But if any devotee has a question, comment, please, you may do so. I will start with what you ended on, that I think it's mentioned in SRIMAD BHAGAVATAM, Canto 10. I think, is it 34? Yeah, 10, 34, 17. It talks about when one chants the holy names of the Lord loudly, it purifies the chanter and the hearer also. So chanting it loudly is very much encouraged. And personally, I didn't used to chant quite loud. I used to chant that I can hear myself, but not very loud, until there was a time I was fortunate to serve His Holiness Kavichandra Swami Maharaj. And I went to see him in his ashram. And I met him. He was just by himself. He was chanting. And he would be chanting, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. He would chant like in a normal tone, and then out of nowhere, he would scream. So I adopted it, and it's become the way I chant, and it's amazing. You feel some bliss in that. But my question to you, Kavikarnapura Prabhu, is when you were sharing with us your visit to Kenya,
yes,
in the room when you were chanting, and one Mataji said you were chanting too loud, and instead of lowering your voice, you actually increased your voice. I am thinking that, well, even though it is true that, like I was saying, 10, 34, 17, when you chant loudly, you help yourself, you help the others also. Yes. But maybe she also wanted to hear her own voice. So in such a situation, as you think back about that experience, what would be the right thing to do if you're chanting and somebody tells you, please, can you tone down your voice? What would be the right thing to do? Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much, Prabhu. See, Prabhu, loud chanting for you to hear yourself and others to hear you. It is extensively explained in Chaitanya Charitamrita in the discussion between Haridas Thakur and Lord Chaitanya. Prabhupada give a very nice purport on this in there. And that is where I got the point from also, chanting loudly. Also, I saw my Guru Maharaj chanting loudly. So I follow suit. So, but the thing that is here is that when I was chanting, like at the example I gave of in the Kenya, when I was chanting, I'm very conscious of my environment. So the way I'm chanting, I'm not chanting like, like you are chanting on top of your voice like it's disturbing. No, that was not the kind of chanting. The kind of chanting is, because the temple president also is sitting very close to me. You know, so, and he's chanting, I'm hearing him. Just the same way he's chanting, I'm hearing him. The same way I'm chanting. Okay. You understand? So, but the thing that is there is that time to time, I try to bring my mind to listen to each word of the name. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare. So when you're consciously doing that, it's a very powerful, it creates a very powerful energy in the environment, wherever you are doing that kind of chanting. And somebody who just want to sit down and, don't want to work on his mind, that is trying to run here and there, it will be disturbed. This is my own experience. So because there were so many young devotees around that time. So what happened was, the devotee is sent. So later in the day, so I went to that devotee and I told him, I said, thank you for telling me that in the morning, I wanted to chant slow, but I just remember, immediately you told me that, I remember my Guru Maharaj instruction. So, so I decided to continue chanting the way I was chanting. Not that I increased my voice, I added that, but it made me to become more conscious, and I started, focusing more and more on the chanting. But I now told our devotee that was the instruction given by Srila Prabhupada himself. And also, if we listen to Srila Prabhupada tape, you will see in that japa, morning japa, when Prabhupada is chanting, you can hear him very loudly, and we are hearing all the devotees in the room. So that is the system, that everybody is chanting and everybody is competing to listen to what they are chanting. Hare Krishna. And in that kind of environment, it creates a very spiritual, vibrant energy that except if you are lazy, you want to sleep. You want to compete also and chant and hear yourself, and you want to be alert. So that is kind of environment is good to chant in the morning, that we'll be able to help ourselves to help our mind that is always making all this kind of noise to take us away from this chanting. Because that attentive chanting is the perfection of life. Is the perfection of life. And that is why it is mentioned that of the 10 offenses, inattentive chanting is the mother of all offenses. Is the mother of all offenses. That you just running Krishna's name like a tape, and in your mind you are doing all kind of things you want to do. It's not going to help you. It's going to make you to commit all the other offenses that is mentioned in this in the scripture. So that I just said that, but the main intention in my mind is that my Guru Maharaj told me, you see, always, when you're chanting the holy name of the Lord, chant it and you hear yourself chanting. And try to hear. Sometimes the mind goes away, but you bring it back. It is natural with the mind. So by this competition with the mind, at least, sometimes also you see we are chanting, like let's say for example, like me, I'm chanting. Then I see myself already reach the head of the chanting. Then I'm asking myself, how did I look at the time? It's 5 minutes. I'm supposed to use 7 minutes now. How did I do it? Did I count everything? So you see the mind play trick on. Sometimes you are just chanting and you think that you are very attentive, and you are just drawing the bead, and the bead is just moving. So in that way, sometimes then I try to slow down the mind and concentrate on the bead also. Not only concentrate on the chanting also. I have to concentrate on the bead. Like Harisori Prabhu said, he said he watched, because Harisori Prabhu started Prabhupada very intimately. He said he watched Prabhupada chanting, and that is why you say my Guru Maharaj is chanting like that. He said that is how Prabhupada chants. He chanted when he was chanting. So the Prabhupada will be chanting. He will be chanting. He will hold his bead very steady when he's chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. when he reach Hare Rama, he will start shaking his hand. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. So it make, Prabhupada is showing, you see, when we are just chanting and everything become monotone, monotonous, then your mind play trick on you again. Your mind start taking you here and there. The mind is very tricky. Everything is about the mind. Like the topic we are taking. It's everything is about the mind. So when it become monotonous, the mind also start playing at the background. He will first of all use disguise of devotional activity. Before you know, it's from devotional, you just jump to material. You will not realize because it's monotonous now. You just be doing it. But like Arisori Prabhu said, he said when Prabhupada is chanting, he hold very steady. The Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Then when it's Hare Rama, he starts shaking his hand. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare. When he comes to Hare Krishna again, he hold it steady. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare. When he comes to Hare Rama, so in that way, when he was telling us that, what I'm saying is that Prabhupada is conscious of even the beats, not only hearing the chanting, but he's conscious of how he moves his beat, because it's easy for us to be moving the beat and we are chanting and you don't know that you are not even counting the Hare Krishna Mama, you're just moving. Before you know, you say you've done finished 16 rounds. Meanwhile, you have not counted it properly. Yes, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, thank you so much. I would like to put this out here so the devotees read, and it's very interesting what you were saying. 10:34:17, and the translation says, "O infallible one, I was immediately freed from the Brahmin's punishment simply by seeing you. Anyone who chants your name purifies all who hear his chanting, as well as himself. How much more beneficial then is the touch of your lotus feet?" Yeah. So chanting loudly is very, very efficacious. Yes, now, if I may ask this question, I don't think it will be.
It's like Salika Prabhu is discussing at the background. Maybe we can remove his video.
Okay. It's like, I don't think it will be that common in West Africa, because West Africa, we love Kirtan. But in the West, it is not uncommon to see devotees in the temple room when Kirtan is going on. You may see a devotee moving away from the devotees, and he will have his hand in his japa bead, doing japa when Kirtan is going on.
Yeah.
I mean, what should be the reaction when devotees haven't Kirtan and another devotee feels that the Kirtan maybe is too loud or whatever? He will just concentrate on his japa and goes to do japa. I don't know exactly what to do, but there have been a few times that I thought I could either ask the devotee to join the Kirtan or leave the temple room, but I did not have such rights to do it. But what do you say when there is Kirtan going on? And in fact, sometimes somebody may even close his ears like this, like does not want to hear the Kirtan. I know sometimes it gets loud, but not extremely loud to the point that somebody will have to close the ears. What do you say, Hare Krishna?
Thank you, Prabhu. There may be so many reasons for that, because I'm not in that devotee's mind, so there may be so many reasons. Mostly, Prabhu, what I've observed, those who do that, there are people who don't finish their round. You understand? So what happened is that because they don't finish their rounds, so they are using if you follow them to their house, I'm very sure when they are watching TV, they are trying to chant. You understand? So they are feeling guilt in their mind that they have to finish their round, So especially when the person who is now chanting is not their favorite. So that is when they want to finish their rounds. In that way, they are cheating themselves. They are not listening to their own chanting. They are not listening to the kirtan. So also, I remember those days also, I used to do it when I'm struggling with my rounds. I try to chant in between so many things. Even you see some people inside class, they carry their beads. Is people who feel they are feeling guilty for not finishing their round. They want to. That is when they want to finish their round, and that is the root cause of inattentiveness. Because number one, you will not be participating fully in whatever is going on. At the same time, you will not be fully attentive in that you're chanting. You just want to count the numbers that, okay, at least I finished my rounds. that is one of the main reasons. Other reason may be sometimes, let's say for example, maybe a devotee that you don't like is chanting. You want to chant, you want to do your job at that time. Maybe it's the one leading the kirtan. So because you don't want to be part of it, so you use a japa beat to be an excuse. That may be another reason. So that's why I say there may be many reasons why people are doing that. But the main thing is that it's inattentive chanting. Because you will not be able to concentrate on your japa. At the same time, the kirtan, you are not concentrating on it. So if the best thing will have been the person leave the place and go and concentrate on the chanting if you really want to chant. But just like you said, who are we to tell anybody to do what they want to stop doing what they are doing? We are not Prabhupada, we are not their guru. So, but we can just see that this is what this devotee is trying to do. And if it's your very close friend, you can give him a very good advice. Now, Prabhu, I love chanting also, but it is mentioned also Sankirtan is, to be in Sankirtan is even higher than even your japa. Because Sankirtan automatically your mind will become absorbed in it. You don't need to think. I've never seen somebody in Kirtan and he's trying to think of something. For you to think, you have to stop. But when you are dancing in Kirtan, it's difficult for your mind to go very far. It's very difficult. And that is why Sankirtan is considered to be the highest of all. It's easy for the mind to be absorbed in Kirtan. Because for you to, in the middle of Kirtan, everybody dancing, for you to now stop and start thinking of something, it's odd. It's very difficult for you. So only such devotees who go one backyard and carry their beat, they are the one their mind will still be traveling in that environment.
Yeah.
So it's not easy.
You're very right. There was a time we went on Harinam, and as we were chanting, and in those days, of course, I was quite young and I was quite energetic. So I used to participate very heavily in the kirtans. But that particular moment, the kirtan was going on and I was just like standing, like not doing anything. And my big brother, Govinda Prabhu, was in the team. Oh my God. As human beings, as you're growing old, your passion decreases also. So those times we were all young. And the chastisement Govinda Prabhu gave me, I will never forget till I drop this body. He chastised me as I'm speaking now. I'm feeling it. I can't demonstrate it on the screen now. But
share some of the baba so that we can be able to imagine.
The passion, if I share it, I might break down the screen. But I didn't like it. I didn't like the chastisement, but it moved me against what I was thinking in my mind, and I joined the devotees to dance. And when I started dancing, like you're saying, all the worries I had on my mind, they all disappeared. Sometimes somebody may not be doing some things the right way. Of course, it is also due to the relationship we had, because of the relationship we had, he could tell me what he told me. But sometimes these similar chastisements are very much needed. Okay, Governor Prabhu, I think you wanted to say something. Please unmute.
Hare Krishna, devotees, please accept my respectful obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Gurudev, and all glories to you. All glories to you. Yeah, Sadhu Prabhu, forgive me for that chastisement. I don't remember, but so you are still feeling it today. That means it was a very serious thing.
It was very serious.
So
it was very serious.
Please forgive me. Otherwise,
no, you don't.
You know, I will go to hell for this.
No. I said it helped me. It actually helped me.
Oh my goodness! Later on, you tell me. Tell me later on. Yeah. So, Prabhu. Yes, I was hearing you concerning the high volume chanting, and you said somebody was disturbed, and you were prompted, and then you increased the volume of the chanting. I agree that when you chant louder, it actually gives the energy to your mind, for the mind to be stable. The mind will not be wavered when we are doing a very, loud chanting. But I think we should also be very sensitive when we are in the midst of devotees. He said that there's a place where you can easily get blessings. It's a place where devotees have gathered. You can easily get blessings, and then you can also be very, very easily offensive. And there are what is called deliberate offenses, and there are offenses that are not deliberate. But whether deliberate or otherwise, it's still offense, and it is counted. So we can do the right thing, but wrong place. And we can say right thing, but that right thing we say, we can also say it in a way that right thing become an offense, and it can bound us also. And so I don't know, but what I'm thinking is that yes, we are chanting, and the chanting is to develop love for Krishna and develop love for devotees. So if I'm chanting and my chanting is disturbing somebody, and the person can come out to tell me, Prabhu, can you lower your volume of your chanting? And I say increase the chanting, they increase the volume, then it's like an attitude also. So there should be an attitude of chanting, especially when we are in the midst of devotees. What do you think that devotee will feel when she prompted that you are too loud and you slow down at that time? What do you think will be her mood or her thinking towards you? And when you increase the volume, what do you think she will think? It can be positive or negative. And so you have called that person to think negatively about you. But if you have lowered the volume of your voice, that would have increased that devotee's mood, good mood towards you, her respect towards you, and she would have learned something also. And so I don't know, but what I'm thinking is that since we are there to help ourselves and help others, we have to be very sensitive, especially we are in the midst of devotees. If we are alone, like I'm alone here and I'm chanting, I can chant to any volume because nobody will be disturbed. But if I'm with somebody, 2 or 3 people, and I'm too loud, to the extent that they can tell me, you are too loud, and I still increase my volume. I think that is also an attitude. And I don't think that sounds very good. I don't know, Prabhu. I don't know.
You have ended it well. You say you don't know. That is very good one, Prabhu. Because
yeah.
I remember when I was in Chopati, when I was living in Chopati, even devotee, they sit down in group to chant. They sit down in group to chant. And they chant just the same way I'm saying also. You chant so that you can hear yourself and others can hear you. That's how devotees chant. You need to go and see when the Radha Gopinath devotees chant in Chopati. They sit down in group. Everybody already got in their own groups. So everybody, in the japa time, everybody just forming a group, circle. Everybody just sitting in a circle. And they start chanting. You see, the head of the circle will be showing by example and chanting in a way that he can hear himself and others can hear him. And everybody will start in that mood also try to emulate and chant themselves. So it's not that I'm shouting like I was saying when I told when Sadi Prabhu was talking about it. I said it's not that I was chanting like hey! No. It's not my chanting.
Frozen. He'll be back.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, can you hear me?
Yes.
No,
Yes.
yeah, you are.
Yeah, we can hear you.
You are it's not that I'm shouting. It's not that I'm chanting. I'm shouting. No. I know what shouting is.
Yeah.
I'm shouting. There's a proper say chant loudly.
Yeah.
So you are chanting in a way that you can hear yourself and others around you can hear you. Only somebody who is concentrating on you can chant, can hear you. Like recently, I was following His Grace Koteya Prabhu on social media, and he's talking so much about smarter brahmanas. And it's calling neo smarter brahmanas who are infiltrating ISKCON. So
yeah, I see you've been following. I've been following too.
And it's very interesting because you see, what is this? All these smarter means. There are some culture in Hinduism, which people who are from that culture, they are trying to bring it to ISKCON, even though Prabhupada has not introduced it to us. And the example is, when you are chanting, you should meditate. You should not chant out. But Prabhupada, who is our father Acharyas, gave us that this is how we should chant the holy name, Mahamantra. You understand? Even some of them may have the conception that the Hare Rama should be pronounced before the Krishna. These are all smarters, culture, that think that things should be done in this way, and that is why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu say, okay, that Hare Rama, Hare Krishna belongs to the smarters. This is my own. You chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. So that is why we are chanting like that. So we have followed Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. We have followed Srila Prabhupada. So it's not that. And also, when he sent that message, if I'm offensive, I will feel it in my heart. But when she sent that message, I was not offensive. And the only way I could know that I was not offensive was that my heart did not change when I was chanting. Because when you are chanting and you are concentrating, when you become offensive, you will feel it. You will feel disconnected from chanting. And also, she did not become angry that I'm chanting and she left. She was not offensive. When I was seeing her, she was even trying to even meditate, to concentrate more on her own chanting. And that is how chanting should be done. So it's not that I'm intentionally want to, offend somebody. No, I just trying to remember the instruction of Srila Prabhupada, my Guru Maharaj, that this is how chanting should be done. And if you are trying to follow, maybe she has not come across it. She doesn't know that is the instruction, and nobody has told her about that. And she's just thinking why this man is chanting like this. Well, meanwhile, other people are not chanting like that. But the temple president himself was chanting like that. But he didn't send a message to the temple president to go and to chant.
Hare Krishna.
So not like that I was shouting, Prabhu, Govinda Prabhu, not that I was shouting. So that was not the case. Sorry.
Okay. All right, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Thank you.
Krishna.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Prabhu, for your observation.
Dr. Hassan, you may unmute, please.
Hare Krishna, please accept my humble obeisances. All glory to Guru Dev, all glory to Srila Prabhupada.
All glories to you,
All
Prabhu.
glory to wonderful devotees here. Thank you for sharing the story of Haridas Thakur. It's one of my favorite stories because I remember the second time I went to the temple, that was the class the lecturer was giving, and I was so curious. I wanted to know who is this Muslim, who is Haridas, who can chant these rounds and convert a prostitute, you know. So thank you so much for sharing this story. And I have two questions.
Are you sure? Are you sure you are not attracted to Haridas because Haridas was a Muslim?
Yes, because you know, beginning of my devotee, I have never heard of any Muslim who is a devotee, you know. So I was so curious. I wanted to know who is Haridas. That is what attracts me more to go to the temple. So I started reading the story of Haridas. Yes. And yes, I have two questions. And one is, during the class, you were mentioning something like we have to make a vow to chant more rounds, because if you make a vow, then it means you want to advance more in spiritual life, and Krishna will reciprocate. And most of the time, in your very heart, you wish you want to make such vows, but due to circumstances, maybe due to your work or something like that, it's very difficult, you know. And if you make this vow and you are not be able to accomplish this vow, what will happen? Is it an offense or? Yes, this is my first question.
Okay, thank you very much. It's a very wonderful, very nice question, actually. You know,
I had the same question also, so he saved me from asking one question.
Oh, okay, that's very nice. It's a very interesting question because, see, one thing, personally, what me have experienced is that, you know, when we make a vow, actually is for us to be able to measure how strong our mind has become so steady in serving the Lord. Because everything, like we're talking about today, everything we're talking is about the mind, isn't it? So, yeah. And the making vow means strong determination of the mind. So when we make a vow, actually is to test how strong our mind has become steady in keeping to the vows of serving the Lord. So anytime, like I remember in my early days in devotional service, I would say, okay, on this Ekadasi, I will eat one day before Ekadasi, no eating on Ekadasi, and one day after Ekadasi. I will take that vow before Ekadasi. If somehow or the other, I cannot be able to fulfill that vow, maybe why? A day after Ekadasi, I saw that vow is not making me to chant my rounds because I've become very weak. Now my mind will tell me, you know, chanting is very important. So now if you don't eat, how are you going to chant? So my mind would now persuade me to go and eat so that I can chant. You see the trick of the mind. It just shows that my mind is not strong enough to be able to uphold my vows. So there's nothing that will happen to you if you fall down, if you make a vow that you want to chant more rounds and you are not able to do that. Nothing will happen to you. It just shows that the mind has not become strong enough to come to that level. It's like a litmus paper to test your, you know, like when you in a chemistry, we have litmus paper to test chemicals. acidic chemicals and all the rest. So it's like it's something to test how strong your mind is. Just like Aridas Aku took a vow. I want to chant 300 times on only names. And he was able to keep to it. Even when all the temptation is coming. He showed that he's a transcendental person. Bhaktisinada Saraswati Thakur took a vow. I want to chant 300,000 only name every day for 10 years. He was able to keep to it. You see, when you take a vow, you are telling the Lord, I want to move more closer to you. I want to develop more love for you. And immediately you do that, there will be a test. Are you sure? The question is that, are you sure? Are you sure of what you are saying? So even though if you fall short in keeping those vows, especially, I'm not talking about the 4 regulating principles. Now I'm talking about spiritual vows of reading more or chanting more. Even if you fall short and you still keep to that your 16 round, you have nothing as wrong. It just shows that your mind has not become strong enough to go fast. And so there's no any offense. At least I've not heard of that there's any offense in not, okay, I want to chant 32 rounds, and you're not able to chant 32 rounds, you can chant your normal 16 rounds. There's no any offense. It's just so that your mind has not become so strong enough for you to focus for more to chant that 32 rounds. Is that okay?
Yes, it's okay. Yeah, thank you so much.
You may ask your second question.
Yes, my second question does not relate to the class, but I think you can help me. There's this word. Actually, I belong to one platform, Transformations, which belongs to Jana Chachudas, and we have this music. But before the music, and there's this mantras, which start like Swalma Vigra Krishna, Satyananda Vigraha, Anadi Adi Govinda. And most of the time in this class, I hear these words. So I know this words is carry a very heavy weight, and if you have to break these words for me to understand what actually it means, I'll be very happy, because it's a word which always come to my mind, and I like it so much, and I want to know the weight of these mantras.
Very good. It's a very nice verse. It's a very, very nice mantra. Ishwara Parama Krishna Sachidananda Vigraha. Is it that one?
Yes, Anadi Adi Govinda, yes.
Ishwara Parama Krishna Sachidananda Vigraha, Anadi Adi Govinda Sarva Karana Karanam. It's a very, very wonderful verse. It's a verse who is like establishing the supremacy of Krishna from Lord Brahma himself. Lord Brahma is the one who said this, mentioned this in his Brahma Samhita. So Ishwara Parama Krishna. Yes, Prabhu, I want to explain. Prabhu, make her explain. Ishwara Parama Krishna. Ishwara Parama Krishna. What is saying is that there are so many Ishwaras in this world, that is controllers. We have the person controlling the sun. We have the person controlling the moon. We have the person controlling the ocean. That is why the ocean is not rising and covering everywhere, because somebody is in charge. We have the person controlling the wind, is called Vayu. We have the person controlling the day and night. We have the person controlling the forest. You have the person. So practically every part of the universe, Krishna has assigned to someone to be in charge. Like when you have a president and you have ministers. So these ministers are considered to be controllers on their own level. So the same thing also in the universal creation, we have so many controllers, like example I've given now. But this first line is say, Ishwara Parama Krishna, of all controller, Krishna is Param. Krishna is above them all, is the supreme. Like they will say prime minister. Of all the prime minister, of all the minister, there is prime minister. So Krishna is the supreme. So Krishna, Ishwara Parama Krishna, Satchid Ananda Vigraha. So Krishna's body is made up, is not made of matter like me and you. Our body is made up of matter. But Krishna's body is made up of Sat, eternity, Chit, knowledge, Sachit, Ananda, and Ananda, bliss. Vigraha. So Vigraha, the form of Krishna is made up of these three elements, three things.
Can you
Sat,
repeat that again, please?
Sat, eternity, Chit, knowledge, Ananda, bliss.
Oh, okay.
That is what is made up, what is the component of Krishna's body. Eternity, knowledge, and bliss. Sachit, Ananda, Vigraha. Anadir, Adi. He is the beginning of everything. He has no beginning himself. Anadir, he has no beginning. Adi, Anadir, Adi Govinda. He has no beginning, but is the beginning of everything. And that is why his name is Govinda. This person we are talking about, his name is Govinda. So they have mentioned Krishna, another name is Govinda. Anadi, Ahadi. He has no beginning, is the beginning of everything. And this person I'm talking about, Brahma is saying, this person I'm talking about that is the beginning of everything, he has no beginning, even is the beginning of me, who is the creator.
Yeah.
His name is Govinda.
Oh, okay.
Anadi, Adi, Govinda. Sarva Karana Karanam. Sarva Karana Karanam. He is the prime cause of all causes. There is nothing in this universe that can move without his sanction. Even it is mentioned in SRIMAD BHAGAVATAM that out of fear of him, the sun has to rise every morning. It's just like you go to work office because of the fear of your boss. If you don't go, he will sack you. So the sun has to rise in the morning out of fear of God, out of fear of Krishna. The moon has to rise at night. The wind has to blow at the regulated frequency, and the ocean has to remain at the permanent level because of the fear of Krishna. So is the is the supreme controller of all, is the Sarva Karana, is the prime cause of all causes. So Prabhu, just read what Prabhu, you can share it now. Let us read what Prabhu has explained, the translation. Let's Prabhu see it.
Yes, thank you so much. Yes, it's really very clear.
Let him read it, the translation, please.
Yeah, okay.
So this is the translation from Prabhupada. Krishna, who is known as Govinda, is the supreme Godhead. He has eternal blissful spiritual body, he is the origin of all, he has no other origin, and is the prime cause of all causes. This is what I've explained. I just add my own small pepper and salt.
Yes. Yes, thank you so much. I'm very grateful.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much for the question and the answer. Anyone else with any question? Kavikarnapura, do you remember how His Grace Shriman Varaha Prabhu chants?
Okay, Japa?
Yes.
No, Prabhu, please remind me.
Oh my God. He chants like he is fighting the Japa beats.
That is a very good example,
Yes.
Prabhu, please, everything about our spiritual life depends on this chanting.
Yeah.
And also, Prabhu, I used to test myself when I have malaria. When you are sick, that is when you will know whether you are really chanting. When you are sick, you will come to know whether you are chanting. Because when you are sick, if you cannot chant, then you are not prepared. You have not prepared like Parishit Maharaj. If you die now, you come back again. Because when you are sick, then there will be a test whether you can chant when you are sick. I remember His Holiness Bhakti Dira Damodara Swami Maharaj. Maharaj will be having serious malaria in Lagos. He will be shaking on the ground when he's sleeping like this. He will still carry his beads and be chanting. I say, Maharaj, you are Maharaj. Me, I have not reached this level. Because when I get malaria, I will be shaking like this. I will not even remember where my bead is. So all these things is to test the level and the strength of our mind at different stages of our spiritual life. We have to be very cognitive of our mind. We have to be watching our mind. Is it becoming more and more strong in becoming attached to Krishna, in chanting the name of the Lord, even at the difficult time, when you are sick, can you still remember chanting the name of Krishna? Do you still remember? Do you try? Do you even try and struggle to chant? Just like Haridas Thakur, when he was about to leave his body, he was struggling. And Chaitanya Prabhu said, "You are already liberated. Why are you chanting? Don't worry." He said, "No, my Lord. My only sickness now is that I cannot finish my rounds." He said, "You are liberated. Why are you struggling with your rounds? You don't need to bother. You are Namacharya, See, even a great elevated soul is still struggling to chant his vow, to keep to his vow of chanting his in numbers of rounds. Wow. This is such a big encouragement for us.
Thank you so much. So we go to Sri Chaitanya Prema Prabhu. Chaitanya Prema, please, you may unmute.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, KAVIKARNAPURA, for the powerful lecture.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you for coming to encourage us. Please inspire us.
Beautiful explanation to the Iswara Parama verse. I just wanted to draw our attention to the fact that Govinda Prabhu was trying to say, that actually we have to also be careful. We should not be too selfish, and we have to be careful to see that our actions do not affect others negatively. So how the lady will feel at that time, and either if it is positive or negative. If it is negative, if your action has caused her to feel negative, you have done some kind of damage. You have done some kind of damage. So we're supposed to.
I'm the only one who is there, who is narrating the story, and that is why I'm narrating the story, because he has not given a negative result. So no, there is not needed to give any purport on it.
Okay. Generally, let's say generally.
And that is why I use it as an example of chanting loudly in the morning. And like I get many examples of the one I wake up very early, I was trying to shout loud. Another devotee wake up and say I'm disturbing, and I kept quiet. And in the morning, Guru Maharaj was giving lecture, and he was saying, I was hearing one devotee was chanting very early morning, which is our main duty. And suddenly I heard somebody say you should not chant. And he stopped. Me, I'm already struggling to stand up so that I can go and chant like him. So yes. it was like a place for me. So it depends on the time, place, and circumstances. So it's not left for us to judge based on that. You understand? So, but the situation I was giving example of this particular lady, the place is a very big hall. I don't know, maybe you have entered Kenya temple room before. You will know that where the Matajis are sitting is very far from where the Prabhujis are sitting. So, and where I'm chanting, I'm sitting with other devotees who are equally encouraged the way I'm chanting, and they are trying to do the same chanting the way we are doing it. I'm not the only one chanting like that, but somehow the other.
Single do means you are entering a mental space. No, but a mental space, and she want to block you out.
So the thing that is that borrowing the example from the spiritual master. Yes,
Prabhu, you are on track. But I just want us, for the sake of those who are not very advanced, understand? The advanced devotees will take it positively, while the less advanced devotees will take it negatively. So for the sake of the less advanced devotees, we can be conscious of what we do, the effect it will have on people around us. That's just what I wanted to say. Not that specifically you are particularly wrong, but the scenario is that it's giving us a hint that we have to be careful what we do, because it can have positive or negative impact on others. So
there's no negative effect on chanting the only name of the Lord. And I think we have to remove this from online, then we can stop this at the background. Chanting the only name of the Lord like I gave example also of ISKCON Chopati. Devotee in the morning, they come around and they sit in cycle and everybody chant audibly. Hare Krishna, Krishna, and everybody is struggling to chant like that. That is the meaning of sadhu sangha in the morning of chanting. If you are alone in your room, you can chant anyhow you like. But if we are together chanting in the morning, we chant to encourage each other.
Yes, even myself, Chaitanya Prabhu, that you know my chanting is very loud and strong, and I don't compromise. I don't allow anybody
to chant slowly.
I don't allow anybody to edit my chanting. If you try to do that, I feel that you are just obstructing, you are going out of your way. In my apple, for instance, where I will use the pepper at the back corner there, and I do it so vigorously. So one devotee tried to come and tell her that, Prabhu, you should chant, stay in one place to chant. I said, please, don't try to edit my pepper. I touched and he left. And he never came back. And I continued to the end. So the ecstasy you feel at that time, we should not allow somebody to edit it. But if, however, somebody come forward to say something about how we are doing, that means we can mellow a little bit to accommodate the person's feelings, but at the same time, we maintain our focus by still intensifying in a way that...
Thank you very much, Prabhu. Thank you very much, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, thank you so much, His Grace Chaitanya Prema Prabhu, Govinda Prabhu, I mean, all the contributors and every single devotee here. At this point, we've actually gone beyond our time, so we're going to humbly request all the devotees to kindly unmute, and we chant Hare Krishna Maha Mantra to express our appreciation to our revered speaker, His Grace KAVIKARNAPURA Prabhu. Jai. Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Mantra Kalpatana, all glories to His Grace KAVIKARNAPURA Prabhu Ki.